Xiao Yan received the legacy of the Netherworld Demon Saint and obtained a high-level Heaven-tier battle technique. Continuing from the previous chapter, Yao Ming stood before the elders, wielding the black scepter that symbolized the leadership of the 9 Nether Underworld Python clan. Upon seeing the scepter, the elders in the sky paled and gasped in unison. 9 Nether Underworld Staff. It's the 9 Nether Underworld Staff that has been lost for a century. This is the token of the chieftain. At this moment, Yao Tianzhao's face was extremely gloomy, and he shouted, "You scoundrel! No wonder I couldn't find it anywhere. It turns out this guy has been hiding it." Then, exchanging a glance with the Great Elder, they both rushed out almost simultaneously and appeared in front of Xiao Yan in an instant. Seeing this, Xiao Yan's body trembled, and he immediately pushed the diamond-glazed body to its limits, his originally massive physique growing even larger. As Xiao Yan's hand seals continued to change, the moment the clan patterns appeared, his aura reached the late stage of a 1-star Do Sheng in the blink of an eye, even surpassing the Great Elder. Facing the joint attack of the Great Elder and Yao Tianzhao, Xiao Yan danced his palms without flinching and laughed, "Ha! Today, I will try the power of these 2 Do Shengs joining forces." With 2 fists against 4 palms, each contact caused space to collapse instantly. Seeing the extremely terrifying battle in the sky, the elders and clansmen of the 9 Nether Underworld Python clan also hastily retreated. Should we intervene? The golden figure in this situation seemed extremely powerful. Even the joint efforts of the Great Elder and Yao Tianzhao, the chieftain, could hardly gain the upper hand. He seemed to want to help Chieftain Yao Ming, who has been too dominant in recent years. If Chieftain Yao Ming could return, it might be better for them. However, Yao Tianzhao has also cultivated many confidants over the years, who are now attacking in the direction of Yao Ming. A group of elderly elders gathered and whispered, seeing those people preparing to launch a sneak attack on Chieftain Yao Ming, and shouted, "Stop them for me." Suddenly their gazes all turned to a relatively younger crowd in the distance, and at that moment, the Do Qi within their bodies surged, and in a few flashes, they rushed up and intercepted those who were preparing to take action. In the sky, Xiao Yan faced the frenzied offensive with a solemn expression. With a twist of his right hand, a huge black halo formed instantly above his head, while his left hand quickly made a series of seals. At this moment, Xiao Yan used the grand heavenly creation palm with his right hand and combined the 5 seals of the Imperial Seal mantra with his left hand. Both moves were sent out at the same time, and an overwhelming energy storm formed suddenly. The space within 1,000 meters range collapsed instantly, and all the mountains were also shattered into powder. When Yao Tianzhao and the Great Elder were shaken back, the two looked at Xiao Yan in shock. They really couldn't believe that Xiao Yan could actually withstand the 2 of them with the strength of an early 1-star Do Sheng without being at a disadvantage. Damn it! Where on earth did this Yao Ming find such a powerful assistant, and it's so strong? Yao Tianzhao's face was extremely gloomy, and a trace of unease rose involuntarily in his heart. Then his gaze turned suddenly, and he suddenly saw those who were blocking his confidence, the Ming elders and others, and shouted, "Ming elders, you scoundrels! How dare you start with the people in the clan?" Ming elder said, "This matter has not been investigated clearly. We naturally can't let people catch Yao Ming chieftain easily." Hearing this, Yao Tianzhao was so angry that his whole body trembled. "Great Elder, what should we do now? I have said long ago that we should clean up those old men, but you insisted on keeping them, and now it's good. It's really a disaster." The Great Elder said angrily, but he also knew that it was useless to say these at the moment. "I will stop this kid. You find an opportunity to deal with Yao Ming. As long as you kill him, these old men will not dare to speak again." Hearing this, Yao Tianzhao was about to nod, and suddenly a cold laugh sounded. "No need to find an opportunity. If you have the ability, come and kill me now." Behind Xiao Yan, Yao Ming actually no longer hid, and walked out slowly, and with his steps, a terrifying momentum that made all the people in the field burst out like a flood. 2-star Do Sheng. Feeling this breath, the faces of Yao Tianzhao and the Great Elder immediately turned pale. They did not expect that after years of suppression, Yao Ming's strength not only did not decrease but increased, from the half-saint of that year to the height of a 2-star Do Sheng. Yao Ming turned his gaze to Xiao Yan and slowly bowed to him. Brother Xiao Yan, I will always remember this great kindness. After I solve this matter, even the 9 Nether Underworld Python clan is willing to share with you in the future. If it were not for Xiao Yan to save him in the desperate situation and provide the pills to resist the enemy, his fate today would be miserable. How much strength has been restored? Xiao Yan asked with a smile. Yao Ming said, but it is enough to deal with Yao Tian Xiao. Xiao Yan said, the Great Elder will be handed over to me, and the grudge between you and Yao Tian Xiao will be settled. Hearing this, Yao Ming nodded and did not say much more, turned and walked slowly towards Yao Tian Xiao. Yao Ming said, my good brother, I will return all the suffering you have made me suffer for hundreds of years to you. When Yao Ming started to act, Xiao Yan flashed and appeared in front of the Great Elder. Great Elder, you'd better surrender. You can't win against me, and Yao Tian Xiao will soon be defeated by Yao Ming. Hearing this, the Great Elder's face changed. He quickly glanced at Yao Tian Xiao's battle situation, and his heart sank. At this moment, Yao Tian Xiao has been suppressed by Yao Ming to the point where he can hardly fight back, and the situation obviously can't last much longer. Years of hard work turned into nothing, and the Great Elder was filled with anger and unwillingness at this time. Suddenly, a deafening loud noise suddenly sounded, and Yao Tian Xiao's scream immediately followed. Hearing this scream, the Great Elder's heart tightened, and he saw Yao Tian Xiao lying on the mountain peak like a dead dog, with Yao Ming's foot stepping on him fiercely. Yao Tian Xiao was stepped on the heart by Yao Ming, and the originally cunning and fierce face showed a look of fear and pleaded, big brother. I was also induced by the Great Elder to do that kind of thing back then. Yao Ming said, now you know I am your big brother. A cold light flashed in Yao Ming's eyes, and then his palm stabbed into Yao Tian Xiao's head like a sharp blade. When he felt Yao Tian Xiao's breath and blood gradually disappear, the clansmen who were confronting the elders of the clan were also pale and trembled involuntarily, not daring to take any more action. Yao Ming held the black bead in his hand, and a trace of sadness flashed in his eyes. When the great revenge was avenged, his heart did not feel much joy. This kind of thing is the most tragic scene in the world. He did not leave any vitality for Yao Tian Xiao, and even his magic core was taken away directly. Great Elder, it's your turn next. Yao Ming took a deep breath and put away Yao Tian Xiao's body with a wave of his sleeve, then looked up at the Great Elder and said. When he saw Yao Ming's extremely fierce gaze, the Great Elder's body also trembled, because he knew that once he fell into the other party's hands, his end would be far more miserable than Yao Tian Xiao. The Great Elder roared, Heavenly Serpent burst. Yao Ming said, dare to self-detonate. Just as the Great Elder's self-detonation energy erupted, countless black energy snakes also rushed out in all directions. When these snakes touched the ground, they would quickly disappear. This is not self-detonation, it is really cunning, actually hiding the magic core in a clone. Looking at this scene, Xiao Yan's eyes flashed a trace of surprise. This old guy is indeed decisive. Losing the flesh body, the strength will inevitably decrease greatly, and it will take a long time to return to the peak state. Yao Ming appeared next to Xiao Yan and then ordered the people of the 9 Nether Underworld Python clan, search within 10,000 miles immediately and be sure to find that old guy. Hearing this, several elders hurriedly agreed respectfully. Yao Ming has a high prestige in the 9 Nether Underworld Python clan, although he has been missing for hundreds of years, but his brave act of killing Yao Tian Xiao just now is enough to deter all the clansmen. Congratulations to the chief for returning to the high position, and we will be loyal to death. Several elders with considerable qualifications quickly stepped forward and said respectfully, thank you all. The affairs of the clan are handed over to you, and kill those who should not kept. Yao Ming said lightly. Xiao Yan looked at Yao Ming handling the clan affairs in an orderly manner and couldn't help nodding slightly. Although this person has been sealed for many years, his spirit is still there. If he develops properly in the future, he will also be a hero-like existence. As Xiao Yan lifted the diamond-glazed body, Kai Lin and others also flew out from the deep ravine and finally stopped beside him. Yao Ming pondered for a moment, then suddenly said with a smile, Brother Xiao Yan, this time it is really thanks to your help. I have nothing to repay this great kindness, But no matter what, I must give you some rewards. I believe you will be interested. I don't know if Brother Xiao Yan has heard of the Netherworld Demon Saint. Hearing this, Xiao Yan was stunned, and then his face showed interest. That ancient era almost stepped into the Do-Di realm of the Netherworld Demon Saint? Could it be that this legendary Netherworld Demon Saint is also related to the 9 Nether Underworld Python clan? Yao Ming said with a smile. Although he is not a member of our clan, he does have a deep connection with our clan. In our clan, there is a Netherworld stone tablet, which was passed down from ancient times, and the tablet records the lifelong learning of the Netherworld Demon Saint, and it is said that the deep part of the tablet still has the essence blood of the Netherworld Demon Saint. Xiao Yan's fingers moved slightly. Essence blood? It is said that the Netherworld Demon Saint has approached the realm of Do-Di, and such a strong bloodline can gradually mutate. With just one more step, his descendants can enjoy the protection of the bloodline and give birth to a new ancient race. However, the Netherworld Demon Saint ultimately failed to take that last step, and his essence blood still has a huge attraction for Do-Shang strong men. If you can get it, it will also have a certain improvement on your own strength. Although Xiao Yan's heart was hot, he soon returned to calm and asked, since there are such secrets hidden in the Netherworld stone tablet, why haven't you retrieved them yet? Yao Ming explained with a smile. Haha, Brother Xiao Yan is really cautious. The Netherworld stone tablet is the treasure of our clan, and it is carved with 3 Do techniques, Yellow Spring Finger and Netherworld Palm, which are respectively low-level and intermediate-level Do techniques, and the power is extremely strong, but only the chieftain and a few elders can practice. Xiao Yan asked, what about the third one? Yao Ming said, Netherworld Heavenly Wrath. Hearing this, Xiao Yan suddenly looked up. The Yellow Spring Finger cuts life and death, and the Netherworld Fury shatters the soul. That is the famous skill of the Netherworld Demon Saint. Xiao Yan was indeed shocked. Strictly speaking, it is a high-level sound wave Do technique, and even the strong men at the Do-Shang level were afraid of it at that time. Among the top strong men defeated by the Netherworld Demon Saint, at least 90% were killed directly by the Netherworld Heavenly Wrath. The high-level Do technique, this level of Do technique is the first time Xiao Yan has encountered in these years, and even his self-created Buddha's Fury reincarnation is hard to match the power of the Netherworld Heavenly Wrath. As for the angry Buddha Lotus Flame, if it can successfully devour and refine the pure Lotus Demon Flame, its power may be comparable to the Netherworld Heavenly Wrath. Yao Ming was very satisfied with Xiao Yan's surprise and then said with a smile, it is indeed the famous skill of the Netherworld Demon Saint, the Netherworld Heavenly Wrath. Xiao Yan asked, so Yao Tian Xiao, or the Great Elder should have cultivated it? Yao Ming responded, if they had used it before, I would not be their opponent at all. It's not that easy. No one in our clan has been able to cultivate it, because that Do technique is hidden in the stone tablet, and we can't get the cultivation method. Moreover, fearing to damage the essence blood inside, no one dares to force it open. Xiao Yan asked in confusion, so what do you mean by that? Even the strong men of the 9 Nether Underworld Python clan in past generations couldn't get the cultivation method. How could I? Yao Ming laughed. Others may not be able to. But Brother Xiao Yan, you might be different. Hearing this, Xiao Yan raised his eyebrows. Heavenly flames? The only thing that seems to be different about him is the heavenly flames. Yao Ming said with a smile. Although the heavenly flames are strong, they are irrelevant to the Netherworld stone tablet. What we need is an extremely powerful soul power. There is a trace of the residual soul of the Netherworld Demon Saint guarding in the stone tablet, and the cultivation method of the Netherworld Heavenly Wrath is hidden in that residual soul. After years of exploration, we found that at least a soul that has reached the heavenly realm may successfully invade the inside of the stone tablet. But this realm of the soul, no one in our clan has reached that realm so far. Hearing this, Xiao Yan smiled at Yao Ming and then said, you trust me so much, telling me this important secret? Yao Ming said, Brother Xiao Yan, don't think too much. Telling you this secret, one is to repay you, and the other is to hope to use your ability to open the stone tablet to enhance my strength and better control the 9 Nether Underworld Python clan. Hearing this, Xiao Yan pondered for a while and said, since that's the case, I'll give it a try. Yao Ming said, then I thank Brother Xiao Yan for your help here. Hearing this, Yao Ming was also very happy and said with a smile, But this matter is not urgent. You guys rest for one night first, and I will take you to the Netherworld stone tablet early tomorrow morning." When the morning light of the second day filled the earth, Yao Ming appeared in front of the door of the room where Xiao Yan and others were staying early, woke everyone up, and then led them to fly to the back mountain, and arrived at an ancient altar in just a few minutes. Xiao Yan and his group slowly landed on the top of the altar, and in the center, there was a 100-meter-high light yellow stone tablet standing alone, exuding an ancient atmosphere. Xiao Yan said in his heart, "Is this the legendary Netherworld stone tablet? There are many strange runes on the stone tablet, with a faint light flashing, and it is also carved with a huge finger and a palm print that is half a meter deep. Some strange information is emitted from it, which is obviously the cultivation method of the so-called yellow spring finger and netherworld palm." Yao Ming first paid a tribute in front of the stone tablet, then slowly retreated, turned to look at Xiao Yan and said, "This is the Netherworld stone tablet. The Netherworld heavenly wrath and the essence blood of the demon saint are hidden inside. But whether you can get it depends on brother Xiao Yan." Xiao Yan flashed and appeared on the stone stool in front of the stone tablet, then slowly sat cross-legged. "Don't let anyone disturb me during this time." As soon as the words fell, Xiao Yan's body trembled slightly, and then a slightly illusory figure came out of his eyebrows and finally hovered in front of the stone tablet. Seeing Xiao Yan's soul could actually condense into a humanoid form exactly the same as his avatar, Yao Ming couldn't help but admire it in his heart. Now in the continent of Doqi, few strong men pay too much attention to soul cultivation, and it is almost impossible for Xiao Yan to condense the intangible soul into an almost solidified form. At this moment, Xiao Yan's soul was floating in front of the stone tablet, and after a while, he stepped forward, and his slightly illusory body directly collided with the stone tablet. The moment they made contact, the surface of the ancient stone tablet suddenly rippled like a liquid, and Xiao Yan's soul also strangely disappeared in front of the stone tablet. In the sky filled with ancient breath, the thunder roared like an angry dragon, and the huge sound made the whole world tremble violently. Is this the hidden space inside the stone tablet? Xiao Yan's body was suspended in midair, slightly surprised at this strange space, and then slowly walked towards the depths of the space. As he took steps, the thunder in the sky seemed to be drawn and bombarded the sky. Faced with such an offensive, Xiao Yan was calm and his steps did not stop at all, and these thunders were quietly scattered by an invisible force when they were 10 meters away from his body, just like he was in an invisible protective cover. As Xiao Yan went further in, the thunder seemed to realize that it couldn't stop him and gradually began to converge. When the last ray of thunder disappeared in the world, a deep yellow cloud layer suddenly appeared in the sky above Xiao Yan's head, followed by an extremely strong wind tearing the world and pressing down on him fiercely. Xiao Yan looked up at the huge finger that pierced through the cloud layer. A trace of fluctuation flashed in his eyes. He gently waved his sleeve. A vast soul force surged out, also turned into a huge finger and violently collided with the yellow spring finger. The two shattered at the moment of impact. Just as the yellow spring finger was just shattered, the ground under Xiao Yan suddenly cracked, and a huge yellow palm like lightning flashed out, appearing under him in an instant, fiercely grasping his body. Xiao Yan's calm voice slowly sounded from the huge palm. A powerful soul storm instantly swept out, directly blasting the palm to shatter. Xiao Yan said, "Netherworld Demon Saint, show yourself. These means are not enough to defeat me." When the yellow giant palm exploded, Xiao Yan's figure reappeared in this world. His light voice seemed to thunder and spread throughout the whole space. Just as Xiao Yan's voice just fell, the ground in front suddenly cracked, and a mountain broke through the soil and rose rapidly, with a figure wearing a yellow fur robe sitting on a huge throne. "This is not a place for you. Go back?" Xiao Yan looked at the figure on the throne, and after a while, he chuckled lightly. "Although you were once the peak strong man in the world, now you are just a residual soul left in the world. How dare such a small person be so presumptuous?" Hearing Xiao Yan's words, the figure on the throne suddenly opened his eyes. A strong soul fluctuation burst out like lightning, shooting straight at Xiao Yan. Seeing this, Xiao Yan stepped forward, waved his sleeve, and a vast soul fluctuation rippled out, easily blocking the soul attack of the Netherworld Demon Saint. Xiao Yan said, "Give me the cultivation method of the Netherworld Heavenly Wrath and the essence blood of the Demon Saint, and I will leave." The Netherworld Demon Saint suddenly stood up, and the moment he got up, the surrounding world immediately cracked. "Defeat me first. The soul in the later period of the heavenly realm is indeed powerful, but my soul has transcended the great perfection of the heavenly realm and reached the imperial realm. How dare you compete with me?" Hearing the word imperial realm, Xiao Yan was shocked in his heart, and his eyes showed a look of shock. This is the first time he has heard of someone who has cultivated the soul power to the realm of the imperial realm. It is probably unmatched on the continent of Doqi, and the Netherworld Demon Saint is indeed well-deserved. Xiao Yan took a deep breath, and his body suddenly expanded to hundreds of meters at this moment, gripping the huge palm and fiercely attacking the latter. "If you are really the Netherworld Demon Saint, I really dare not compete with you. But now you are just a residual soul of him." The Netherworld Demon Saint roared angrily, and his palms pressed the ground fiercely, and the earth immediately cracked, bombarding Xiao Yan's soul giant like a heavy rain. Faced with fierce attacks, Xiao Yan spat out a strange hot soul force, and countless huge palms were shattered at the moment of contact, and even the shaking earth was suppressed. This contact made the Netherworld Demon Saint's face slightly change, and then he quickly made strange seals with his hands, and then placed the seals at the edge of his mouth, and a terrifying fluctuation immediately rippled. At this moment, the Netherworld Demon Saint's body suddenly rippled strangely, and then these ripples converged into a 1,000-meter invisible figure. If you look closely, you will find that this figure is consistent with the appearance of the Netherworld Demon Saint, which is the true body of the Netherworld Demon Saint. Xiao Yan took a breath of cold air, and he didn't expect that this residual soul could condense the true body through sound waves. The invisible Demon Saint true body formed by the sound waves slowly lowered his head, then opened his mouth and issued a sound with an ancient breath. A word came out, and at the same time, this space also began to collapse, and an almost destructive sound wave impact surged at a speed faster than light. This is the first time Xiao Yan has seen such a fast attack, and he can hardly form any defense in the face of this terrifying speed. At this time, Xiao Yan's soul body immediately began to collapse. Countless explosions sounded on its surface, and the huge body also shrank and became illusory at a rate visible to the naked eye in an instant. The Netherworld Demon Saint looked up slowly and said, "It is also a blessing to fall under the Netherworld Heavenly Wrath. It is worthy of being the famous skill of the Netherworld Demon Saint. With just a residual soul, it has such power, and it is hard to imagine what it would be like when the Netherworld Demon Saint himself performed it, which would be a destructive power to the heavens and the earth." Just as the voice of the Netherworld Demon Saint just fell, a fire appeared in the void, which was Xiao Yan, who was destroyed by the Netherworld Heavenly Wrath. At this moment, he was surrounded by flames and walked through the air, and finally walked step by step to the mountain peak, looking at the residual soul of the Netherworld Demon Saint on the throne and smiling. Seeing this scene, the residual soul of the Netherworld Demon Saint also seemed a bit surprised. After a while, a rare smile appeared on his face, and his body slowly leaned back on the throne, and he said with a bit of melancholy, "This day has finally come." Xiao Yan said with a light smile, "What I seek is only the cultivation method of the Netherworld Heavenly Wrath and the essence blood of the Demon Saint, and I have no other intentions towards you." The Netherworld Demon Saint said, "You have withstood the Netherworld Heavenly Wrath, and the things you want will naturally be given to you." As the voice fell, the Netherworld Demon Saint lightly flicked his finger, and a soul fluctuation immediately appeared and hovered in front of Xiao Yan. Feeling that soul fluctuation, Xiao Yan hesitated and carefully took it into his hand, and then that stream of information quickly poured into his mind. At this time, he saw a complete set of cultivation methods in his mind, and after a while, Xiao Yan opened his eyes, and the joy on his face became more obvious. In that information, not only was there the cultivation method of the Netherworld Heavenly Wrath, but also the cultivation methods of the Yellow Spring Finger and the Netherworld Palm. Xiao Yan clasped his fist and said, "Thank you, predecessor of the Netherworld. My mission is to wait for someone to defeat me and pass on all my knowledge. Your soul power has reached the requirements for cultivating the netherworld heavenly wrath. The netherworld demon, Saint said with a smile. Then his illusory body suddenly appeared with golden streams, and finally slowly gathered in the palm, turning into a golden liquid. Xiao Yan's eyes were tightly locked on that liquid, and he could feel the strange energy it contained. Is this the essence blood of the netherworld demon saint? The netherworld demon saint gently stroked the golden liquid, and his voice was full of melancholy and unwillingness. Xiao Yan said, "The predecessor's achievements are amazing, but he encountered an accident. Otherwise, he would definitely be able to enter the realm of Do Di. Haha, reaching Do Di level is not an easy thing. I'm afraid there will be no more in this world." The netherworld demon saint shook his head. Hearing this, Xiao Yan was surprised. Why? The netherworld demon saint frowned slightly, and after a while, he looked up at the void and said in a deep voice, "Since ancient times, the strong men of Do Di have become more and more scarce, and there has been no other Do Di except Tuasha, ancient emperor on the continent, which is also a mystery in the hearts of many people. The current world seems to be missing something. What is missing? I'm not very clear. Now I am just a residual soul, and lost a lot of memories." The netherworld demon saint sighed, then waved his hand, and the golden liquid floated towards Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan said, "Thank you, predecessor of the netherworld." He kept the essence blood in his heart, looked up and saw that the mountain peak began to collapse, and the body of the netherworld demon saint was becoming more and more illusory. The netherworld demon saint said, "The mission is completed. I hope my unique skill will not lose its luster and prestige with my fall." Xiao Yan looked solemn and saluted. "Farewell, predecessor." Looking at the dark and empty space, Xiao Yan sighed lightly, and then his figure trembled and slowly disappeared. On the altar, Kai Lin and others were anxiously watching Xiao Yan. Although they were confident in him, they were still a little worried. "Chief Yao Ming, does it take so long for the strong people in your clan to enter the stone tablet?" Kai Lin couldn't help asking. Hearing this, Yao Ming shook his head. "It usually doesn't take more than half an hour for the strong people in our clan to enter the stone tablet. But brother Xiao Yan's soul power is exceptionally strong. He should be fine." Hearing this, Kai Lin became more worried, but she could only suppress the unease in her heart and wait quietly for Xiao Yan to return. In this waiting, another half an hour passed, and just when they were about to lose patience, the stone tablet suddenly burst into a strong light, and a soul figure flew into Xiao Yan's body from it. At this moment, Xiao Yan suddenly opened his eyes. His face turned pale in an instant, and a violent cough revealed a weakness. The injury from taking a netherworld heavenly wrath head-on finally showed up at this moment. "Are you okay?" Kai Lin asked urgently. "The residual soul of the netherworld demon saint is really terrifying. Can't you deal with that residual soul?" Yao Ming asked in surprise. Xiao Yan said, "The residual soul in the stone tablet has already dissipated." Just as Xiao Yan's voice just fell, the stone tablet suddenly made a loud noise. Seeing this, Yao Ming was stunned at first. Netherworld heavenly wrath. Then his face showed ecstasy and he hurriedly sat down cross-legged. But when his soul power touched the mouth shape that emitted the netherworld heavenly wrath, a strong soul impact suddenly hit him, directly knocking Yao Ming flying out, and finally he fell very embarrassedly from the stairs. A moment later, he flew back with embarrassed posture. "This soul impact is really terrifying. I am already a late 2-star Do Sheng. Such strength is not qualified to cultivate the netherworld heavenly wrath. I don't know when to wait." Yao Ming sighed lightly, then he looked eagerly at Xiao Yan and said, "Brother Xiao Yan, since you have defeated the residual soul in the stone tablet, you should have also obtained the essence blood of the demon saint. Don't worry, the stone tablet is the property of the 9 Nether Underworld Python clan. I won't monopolize it." Xiao Yan smiled lightly, then clenched his palm, and a golden blood appeared in the palm of his hand. Xiao Yan held the golden blood and smiled. "Chief Yao Ming, everyone has a share. Kai Lin and the other 3 people are also here. You should have no objection to giving them 3 shares, right? Now Kai Lin, Xiao Yixian, and Qing Lin are all at the level of 9-star Do Zun. If they can get this essence blood, it will greatly shorten the cultivation time and break through to half a Do Sheng. Yao Ming said with a smile. Hee hee, it's up to brother Xiao Yan to arrange. The golden blood in Xiao Yan's palm was only a drop the size of a thumb. Looking at this last drop, Xiao Yan smiled, because he still had a drop left for Yao Lao in his storage ring. Now Yao Lao is already a senior half-dosheng. With this essence blood, it is only a matter of time to be promoted to a 1-star dosheng.